State Representative Steve Toth declared victory Tuesday night in the Republican primary contest to unseat U.S. Representative Dan Crenshaw in Texas' 2nd Congressional District, marking one of the most closely watched intra-party battles of the 2026 election cycle in Texas. Please subscribe, like, and share for more updates. Thanks. Speaking to supporters after early and in-person votes were tabulated, Toth said the margin in his favor was strong enough to secure the nomination, though the race had not yet been formally called by the Associated Press late Tuesday. Unofficial returns showed Toth leading in key precincts across Harris and Montgomery counties, areas that make up a significant share of the suburban Houston-based district. The contest between Toth and Crenshaw evolved into a high-profile ideological showdown within the Republican Party. Crenshaw, first elected in 2018 and a former Navy SEAL who served in Afghanistan, built a national profile through frequent television appearances and policy debates in Washington. Over 4 terms in Congress, he aligned himself with mainstream Republican leadership on many fiscal and national security issues, while also occasionally drawing criticism from the party's right flank for supporting certain bipartisan agreements. Toth, a state lawmaker from the Woodlands known for his staunchly conservative positions in the Texas legislature, framed his campaign as a corrective to what he called establishment politics in Washington. He criticized Crenshaw's votes related to federal spending packages and foreign aid, arguing that the district's Republican base wanted a more uncompromising voice in Congress. Throughout the campaign, Toth emphasized border security, reducing federal debt, and resisting what he described as federal overreach. The primary drew statewide and national attention in part because of the endorsements and outside interests involved. U.S. Senator Ted Cruz endorsed Toth during the campaign, a move that underscored divisions among Texas Republicans and gave the challenger additional visibility. Political observers noted that endorsements in competitive primaries can energize specific voter blocs, particularly in lower turnout elections. According to reporting from the Texas Tribune and the Houston Chronicle, turnout in the district was stronger than typical for a midterm primary, reflecting intense grassroots organizing on both sides. Both campaigns invested heavily in digital outreach, mail campaigns, and in-person voter contact efforts in the weeks leading up to Election Day. Crenshaw had entered the race with significant advantages, including fundraising strength, incumbency, and national name recognition. However, the political climate within segments of the Republican electorate has increasingly favored challengers who campaign as outsiders or as more ideologically rigid alternatives to sitting office holders. Analysts say that dynamic has created a more volatile environment for incumbents across the country. If Toth's lead holds through the final canvass and certification process, it would represent one of the most notable incumbent losses in a Texas Republican congressional primary in recent years. It would also add to a broader pattern of competitive GOP primaries where internal policy disagreements and personality-driven politics have reshaped party dynamics at the district level. Texas' 2nd Congressional District has historically leaned Republican in general elections, meaning the GOP nominee is widely viewed as the favorite heading into November. However, Democrats are expected to field a candidate and campaign in the district, particularly in Harris County precincts where demographic shifts have made some suburban areas more competitive over time. Election officials are expected to complete ballot counting, including any remaining mail-in and provisional ballots, before certifying results in the coming days. Until then, Crenshaw is not formally conceded, but Toth's declaration signals confidence that the outcome will stand. The final certified results will determine whether Toth officially becomes a Republican nominee and whether one of Texas' most recognizable members of Congress will exit the House after nearly a decade in office.